Hi, my name is Justin Gerhardt. I am the host of the Gay Man channel. This is the second video in the trilogy that I'm featuring with my parents. This is Luella, this is Dawn, but I call them mom and dad. So, if you missed last week we talked about before you knew I was gay, before you knew any of your kids were gay, and also
our perspective on
homosexuality.
Yeah.
Just a little update for you. All of my siblings are gay as well, so it's me, my sister, and my brother. So this week we're going to talk about coming out. The coming out phase.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Did you suspect any of your kids were gay?
Honestly, not, but...
Yeah, honestly not.
They didn't, okay.
Yeah.
See, some of you parents out there, you're not the only ones that didn't know. There's a lot of you that didn't know.
I just thought my kids were very diverse love of things. So sports and music, like you, for instance, you were doing lots of musician things, but you're doing lots of sports things. So I didn't question it.
There you go. Did anybody ever ask you, nobody ever talked to you, was like, do you think Justin might be swinging for the other team?
No, I never.
Nobody even brought it up?
No.
Nobody brought it up.
Wow, that's amazing.
I think that's a fear in people.
I agree. I think what we said last week about sexuality not being a huge topic of conversation for anybody.
I don't know if we would ask other parents if they ever thought their kids were gay.
Now, though?
Well, now I would think about it because it's, you probably can see.
So even it's changed within 5 years.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. We've come a long way in 5 years. So who came out first and to whom? I want this from your perspective.
Go ahead.
Well, Justin, you came out first.
Ding, 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 number one, right here.
Yes, you did.
To both of us.
To both of us.
I came home specifically to tell them. I was in university, but I knew that I just couldn't go any longer because I had told some of my friends and I didn't want them to find out from anybody else but me. So I made a quick trip home, which was like an 8-hour drive. I somehow convinced you that I was stressed with school, which I don't even know how you believe that, but I've convinced her I'm an actor, so. And then I remember coming home and waiting till the very end of the night. Mom, you were literally walking up the stairs to go to bed. And I said to myself, if I don't tell them right now, I'm never going to tell them. So I said, wait. And then I told you, if you can think back to that moment in 2009 when I came out to you guys, what was your reaction?
Well, I think we were wondering what your urgency was in coming home.
Okay, so you did.
That was a little, in my mind at least, it was something I was thinking about.
Suspecting?
But I had no idea this was it.
Right.
But
then when I said it, what was your reaction? So you're just surprised?
Surprised. But then when we started having the conversation, I think it just helped us to understand past things a bit more.
Right.
So things because you had girlfriends.
Right.
And then that never worked out. So, and you'd had a really quite serious one just before, and we were really happy about it.
Yeah. So it sort of made things fall into perspective.
Yeah. And you didn't say you were gay. You said you were bi first.
I softened the blow.
Yeah. And then you stayed for 2 days or so.
I did.
We could keep talking about it.
I think that was really important.
Yeah.
I liked that I stayed, and then I also enjoyed that I left, giving you guys the space to process it together. And that we then saw each other again at Thanksgiving. And that was another opportunity to continue the conversation. So the age-old question I feel like parents get asked is, why didn't you see it?
With the things you and your siblings were doing, they were all pretty normal things.
Right.
Given even like from us, I mean, I'm really musically inclined. And so you were doing things like that, all three of you.
Yeah.
And you were very sports inclined, and you were all doing those things too.
There was no opportunity to think like, oh, he's probably gay because all he plays with is Barbies. I didn't just play with Barbies. I did, and I danced around the living room to Disney music, but I also was shoveling the ice and helping you on the tractor and doing manly things.
What we call manly.
What we call manly things. From my perspective, that's why it wasn't obvious.
Yeah.
Who did you first want to talk to right after I came out?
Our friends who we knew we'd have support from.
And you knew there was some people that you could already go to right away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Was there any surprises in terms of people who distanced themselves from you after they found out?
Not close friends.
No.
So most people were pretty supportive, even if they didn't know much about it.
Yeah, those people probably we wouldn't have told right away.
Kind of extend the circle as you get more
comfortable talking about
it.
Right. Tell me about what it felt like for you guys to come out to all your friends.
It was exhausting.
Okay.
Yeah.
We felt we just couldn't do everybody at once kind of thing.
Yes.
No.
And it's better to meet them individually anyhow, but family members.
And it was different for when you came out. We were more intentional about telling people.
Yeah.
And who we're going to tell.
Because it was number one.
Yeah. I mean, but as our other two came out progressively, we didn't have that same intention. Mm-hmm. It just sort of came out when it was convenient to come out.
And when it felt natural to talk about it. But fast forward to when Rochelle came out, Rochelle and Colby came out. They came out at similar times in different ways, but was that a very different process? Think about when you told somebody I was gay, and then when you again told them that Rochelle and Colby were also gay. What was that like? Well,
I mean, it still was significant.
Yeah.
Because, okay, we have one gay child, and then we have another gay child, and then 3 of our children are gay. So, that's not in the normal world.
And I think people, when they found out we had 3, it was like, oh, what's wrong with you guys?
Right.
And on the other hand, some people said, well, you must have done something right.
Again, though, the friends that we hold dear never, ever gave us eyes up and going, what?
Yeah.
They totally supported it.
Mm-hmm. How about family?
Well, there was mixed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they saw it coming or they didn't.
I think some did and some didn't.
Yeah.
Some didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Some still don't.
Yeah. And maybe they never will. However, I feel like they're still being influenced by the fact that we're all gay. Even though they may not have wanted to talk about it, they've talked about it more than they probably thought they would. And that is already enough to start shifting a frame of mind and shifting the angle from which you see the world. It changes everything when it's close to home.
Yeah.
It's easy to look at somebody else and say, yeah, I totally accept it. But when you have a child or a sibling or a niece or a nephew that's gay.
Yeah, once they put names to faces, it changes.
And I think that's what changes people's perspective on the word itself. It's not just this scary word, gay. It's Justin.
Yeah, I think
Justin's normal. So what is that then shifts my thinking about what gay really means. The fact that we're gay has helped them to see a different side of what they thought being gay was. To them, gay was this scary word. And now it's connected to their nephew or their niece.
Yeah.
And so it puts a face to it, it puts a personality to it, and then they have to start questioning all those things that people say gay mean, and then does Justin fit into that? Does Rochelle fit into that? Does Kobe fit into that? So they have 3 people all of a sudden in their lives that they can start asking those questions. And I think that's awesome. They may not feel that it's awesome.
But we still consider ourselves as a normal family.
Yeah. What would you say to a parent who is struggling with accepting their gay child?
And if you want to have a relationship with your child, no matter who they are, what they've done, or what their orientation is, if you want to have a relationship, you have to love them. And you want to continue that love sincerely, authentically. And why would you want to cut anything off? Why would you not want a relationship? It's just about understanding who your child is and
continuing the conversation.
Always continuing the conversation.
Ask questions. We want to tell you about our lives. I think that's when a gay person comes out, they finally feel like they can be open about who they really are. And so you can't really offend us. We want to tell you about the things that we're going through. And that's what's going to help you understand your child.
This child comes from you. So
you might want to remember that.
No, that's not neither negative or a positive statement. That's just what it is.
That's fact.
And so it's our choice as parents whether we want to support our kids, or if we don't, then we're cutting the thread. And then how much of a relationship can you have?
What has been one of the most challenging interactions that you've had because of having gay children?
Well, that was closer to when you first came out. Guys in the dressing room, hockey dressing room, coming off with, not knowing.
Yeah.
But making off-color jokes.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah.
That was hard.
I mean, to say something or not to say something, that's hard to know what to do, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you really want to bring it up there?
Yeah, that's right.
But I feel like that's a question of being proud of your kids no matter what.
Yeah. And I didn't bring anything up, but I certainly was questioning whether I should.
Yeah, I still feel like I struggle with that sometimes, knowing whether I even need to bring it up. when I feel like somebody's saying something inappropriate, or sometimes I want to enlighten them and sometimes I don't feel like it's my place. I think at the end of the day, I more so look back on it wishing I had, because what other person is going to say something? It takes a lot of courage. Depending on where you're coming from and depending on who your community is, even more courage to be able to do that.
I found that, especially in my place of work, where I sit and have lunch, and there's general acceptance, definitely, for the gay and lesbian community there, but I think I became a person that they could ask questions.
Yeah, a little bit of a guru.
A little bit of a
little bit of a gay guru.
They just wanted to know.
Yeah.
How did it happen and how did you feel?
Yeah. Which is kind of awesome.
I had no problems with that because it's true, authentic answers.
Yeah. It's happening right now.
It's just how it's happening.
Yeah. The last thing we'll end on is, did you ever blame yourself for us being gay? I feel like that is a big question for parents once they find out their child is gay. Is this something we did? Nature versus nurture?
No, I never had that thought.
For me, human nature brought me to that question, but I never let it be a question.
Just so you know, you're not alone if you've asked yourself that question. I think a lot of people have. Just know that there's no way that you could have done anything different to change the sexuality of your child. It's as if you're saying you could have raised the blackness out of a black baby.
Or a handicapped child.
Exactly.
Like
these people
who are parents of handicapped children or mentally challenged children, it's not their fault either.
Exactly.
And so we were just the source of how you came to be, but the Creator created you.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you so much for your honesty and your openness. I really truly believe that this is the way that people watching and parents watching and grandparents watching, anybody who's watching can further understand their own feelings about this and their own child or grandchild coming up. We got one more coming for you next week. What are we talking about next week?
The after effects.
Yeah, we're going to talk about after. What happened after? Y'all stay fabulous now. If you haven't been to my channel before, there's lots more videos to watch. Just check this little box that we're in right now. There's a video probably right over there that will take you to another video on the channel.
Subscribe.
And give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, give it a thumbs up and subscribe.
And be beautiful.
Exactly.